4 of these things happening at once for the empire to fall. Hey, an empire falls every 250 years. 2026 will be 250 years. If all of your history friends are freaking out, you should be freaking out. We don't fearmonger, but history is a cycle, and cycles do what? Repeat. What are the signs of a failed empire? As a side note, it usually only takes about 4 of these things happening at once for the empire to fall. And no, the citizens of Rome did not know that their empire was falling. We have far more technology and resources than the Romans did. Let us begin. How does an empire fall? Breakdowns in the systems that maintain order and stability within the empire lead to a loss of control over its territories. Remember, we only need 4 out of 5. 1 is economic decline, with key things to look out for being high inflation and currency devaluation. But what does that mean? It means the price of things goes up and the value of our money goes down. Large trade deficits, growing unemployment and poverty, and an inability to collect taxes effectively. Keyword is effectively. 2. Political instability, which includes the following: frequent changes in leadership, power struggles within the ruling class. But who's the ruling class? Musk, Bezos, Gates, Zuckerberg, Larry Ellison, them and all the other billionaires are the ruling class. Just so you know, those 5 individuals are valued at about $586 billion between all of them. And if not our oligarchs, it would be the other people who own us. The same people who are in charge of Vanguard, BlackRock, and State Street. Next would be corruption and bribery in the government. Self-explanatory. Finally, under political instability would be a rise in separatists' movements. 3 is social unrest. What went down with that CEO is any indication? We're in trouble. Social unrest would include things like protests, widespread protests, and riots, increased crime rates, growing tension between the classes, a larger gap between the rich and the really, really poor, and mass migration within the empire. You know how people are fleeing their states because they're passing certain legislation that is not great for their citizens? 4 would be military weakness. Now, we happen to be the country that spends the most per capita on our military, which is wild by itself. But in this case, military weakness would consist of 2 things: the inability to defend our borders from external threats. No, this does not mean the cartel in Mexico. Actual threats, and declining morale and discipline within the military. People like Hexeth running around. 3rd, which would be an impossibility for the United States, would be a lack of funding for military modernization. We know that's where all the money goes anyway. Nobody knows where the income taxes go, though. And number 5, the straw to break the camel's back. Cultural decay. Loss of our values and identity. I don't mean our Christian national values. Our actual values as a society of human beings, disintegration of cultural institutions, and finally, growing cynicism and distrust towards the government. You need 4 out of 5 things to make an empire fall. And if you need proof, here we go. Rome had a declining economy, barbarian invasions, internal power struggles, and a loss of central authority. The Soviet Union had economic stagnation, political repression, ethnic tensions, and a weakened military. 4 out of 5 dominoes falling is all it takes for an empire to fall. As